Hello, my name is Dr. Kyle Denham from Breath of Life Chiropractic in Petoskey, Michigan. I want to welcome and thank you for taking the time to invest in your health today. During our time here, you're going to get massive value on how to maximize your health, empower yourself to make the best healthcare decisions, and stay clear of our sick care system. Please take notes so you'll get the maximum value for your time here. I want to thank you once again for joining us, and I'll see you on the other side. Let's begin. All right, so welcome to Better Results Faster. You can look good, feel great, function better. So before I get going, I just want to share a little story with you, if that's all right. I always know that I get better results when I listen to a presenter when I know a little bit about them. So I'd like to share a little story with you. This is a patient of mine some years ago. His name's Kevin, and he was really in good shape. He like I said, he was 18 years old, really good shape. He exercised a lot. He ate a good diet, but he had a ton of stress in his life. And I saw this, and I knew that, he grew up in northern Michigan, and he said, I'm good. I was seeing him as needed kind of for some neck pain. And this is before I got into wellness care and what wellness and health overall meant and how chiropractic played a role. But anyhow, I kind of see him now and then for some neck pain, and he'd feel better because of that. But I saw that he had a ton of stress in his life. And I told him, I said, this is going to catch up with you eventually. But, he's 18 years old. He's Superman. He works out a lot, And the thing is, he had 3 jobs. He had the first job that he had was he opened for Big B Coffee. So he's in there between 4:30 and 5 a.m. And then he went to his other 2 jobs, which were construction jobs. One was a landscaping construction job, and the other one was actually landscape maintenance. So he had some pretty physical labor jobs. He was up early. And because he worked at Big B, he had plenty of free coffee to keep him going. And then at night, he would go right from work to the gym where he'd pump iron pretty hard. He did that about 6 days a week. And then he'd go into night classes. And night classes were anywhere from, like 6 to midnight or 8 to 10 or whatever it was. So it was always a pretty late night. And it caught up with him. And I told him, I said, you got to do something about this stress, Kevin. And the sad thing is he actually died. And, the last time I saw him was in an emergency room. And, the thing about emergency rooms, nobody ever wants to make a healthcare decision when they're in an emergency room. But when I was there, I walked in, the first thing is the sight, what the emergency looks like, those bright lights and everything's white and kind of sterile looking. And then the sounds, things beeping and people, racing to and fro. And the thing that always gets me is that smell. I mean, when's the last time you're in the emergency room? You just think about that, and that smell will take you right back there. I'm just like, I'm glad that we have them, but I just wanted to get out of there as soon as possible. But like I said, so Kevin died, and he died from a stress-related illness called sudden cardiac death. Even at 18 years old, sometimes you hear of athlete's heart or runner's heart, and that's what it was. The stress in his life overcame his ability to adapt, and he died one night. He just didn't wake up. And I vowed at that moment it would never, ever happen to another family, because not only was this guy a patient, but he was also my youngest brother. And so I knew at that time, I said, this can't happen. And so I have to tell people how to be healthier and how the stress in their lives really does affect them and ways to get around that stress. So pay attention tonight. I'm going to share some good tips with you, and we'll definitely make sure that you're going to get some value out of this. So before we get started on the top 10 questions you must ask if you want to be healthy, which is really what we're going to get into tonight, I want to do a quick pop quiz. So first question is, are Americans healthy? And I think that most of us would agree that as a country we are not. So here's another question. Which country spends the most on healthcare? And I'm willing to bet that you probably guessed correctly on this first question. The United States, and you are correct in that. The U.S. spends more than $2 trillion a year on our healthcare system treating chronic disease, preventable disease, which is literally double the amount spent by the number 2 country on this list. Isn't that crazy? We spend so much money on treating chronic diseases that are preventable, and diseases that, unfortunately, in our current system, they never get better. So next question is, which country takes the most medicine? And I'm guessing that you guessed that too. The United States takes 75% of the world's prescription drugs, yet we represent only 5% of the world's population. This is crazy. In this country alone, we consume 75% of the world's drugs, but are about 5% of the world's population. We take 95% of all the painkillers. And to me, this just isn't acceptable. So I want you to understand there's got to be a better way to do things. And, I can tell you that you're nodding your head with me on that one. So next question, the pop quiz. Where do you think the U.S. falls on the list of healthiest nations? Now, the World Health Organization lists the top 40 industrialized nations. And where do you think the United States falls? You think we're at the top? Well, just to let you know, we actually end up at 38th. So, number 1 being the healthiest, 40 being the sickest, with all that funding, with all the resources and technology, the testing, the treatments, the drugs, the surgeries, we list in at 38th. At first we should be expecting that, right? 10th, we'd probably be disappointed, but really I'd be mad at 30. Well, we rank 30. We're right near the bottom of this whole thing, and that just is not okay with me, and I know that it's not okay with you. So here's the thing. This is, our current system is failing. All the things listed on your screen, strokes, cancer, depression, immune disorders, arthritis, infertility, multiple sclerosis, cancer, all those things, they're part of our sick care system. And understand that that's what we do have. We have a sick care system. Nod your head if you agree with me, because understand, I'm not ripping on medical doctors here. What I'm saying is that the system that we have, the model that we have, is broken and failing. And so we have to find another model, another system that we have to participate in, because nobody wants more drugs and more surgery. I ask that question all the time. And I don't ever get people say, yeah, I want more drugs and more surgery. Okay, so we've got to find another answer. So here's the thing. People have never been sicker. For the first time in the history of man, children are born after the year 2000 are not expected to live as long as their parents. That's government research. That's my kids. That's a lot of people's kids out there. And that's sad to understand that we've got teenagers now that aren't expected to live as long as their parents. I mean, this isn't just something that just happened. This has been going on for a while. So we have to do better. We have to understand this problem, and we have to get better at what we're doing in order to help people be better and healthier. Understand this is about you. So let me just get real for a second. I've kind of painted a broad picture here. Let me ask you a question. Are you as healthy as you want to be? How about your family, your spouse, your parents, your children? Are they as healthy as you want them to be? We just talked about how kids these days are destined to live a sicker, unhealthy life and die sooner than we are. So maybe there's someone in your life right now that's really struggling. They're having a hard time getting well or staying well. Maybe they've tried everything, but nothing seems to help. Maybe it's a friend, a coworker, or a family member, or maybe it's you. And if you're like me, you're not satisfied with the health outcomes that our current approach to healthcare is producing. In fact, it's probably safe to say that you're straight out frustrated. Well, I share in your frustration. In fact, I got so bothered by the way things were going, I decided to do something about it. But not just for me, not just for my family, but for you and all the other people that are going to watch this video, and your families as well. But before I get into that, I just shared my story, okay? And so you understand where I'm coming from and where this really resonates well in my heart. And that's when I got my purpose. My passion is to help people overcome the stress in their lives and get better results in their lives and in the outcomes of their health overall. Not just about, doing things that, you think you might be able to do, but really getting some real answers, okay? So we have to ask this question, and this is really the question. I'm a doctor of chiropractic, which is the degree I hold as a DC, which is a doctor, like I said, doctor of chiropractic, but really that's a doctor of cause. That's what I want to find out. What is the cause of this? So why are we in a healthcare crisis? We've all heard about this, right? So there's really 3 reasons that we're in a healthcare crisis. The first one is personal responsibility. I think most of us can agree with this, that we've given up the responsibility to take care of ourselves. We want our insurance companies to do it for us. We want our medical doctors to do it for us. Somebody else is going to take care of our health. We kind of pass the buck. And this just isn't okay, but understand this is what we've been told to do. This is not your fault. This is the system that we have. Like I said, this is not me against medical doctors. I have some friends that are medical doctors. They're fed up with this whole system as well. This has to do with how are we going to enter into a different system and get out of the sick care system. So personal responsibility. We have to take back responsibility. And a huge part of that is education. So like I said, I appreciate you investing in your health by taking the time here today. So the next thing is, the second reason we have a healthcare crisis is we have the wrong definition of health. I've asked hundreds, if not thousands of people what they define as health. So if you say you're healthy, then what does that mean? Most of the time I get the answer, if you look a certain way and feel a certain way. And don't get me wrong, that's important. But here's the thing, health is never defined by how you look or how you feel. because we all know people that look good, that feel good, that exercise, that eat right, and then bam, they get hit with a heart attack, or they find out they have cancer or diabetes. Think about my brother Kevin. He was perfectly healthy from the outside, but there was something seriously wrong. So I just want you to write this down. Simply put, health equals 100% function. That's it. Health is not based off of how you feel, how you look, it's how you function. Because most of what we do in our bodies are not things that you feel, all right? So health is 100% function. You got to understand that. When we're functioning at 100%, you should feel good, you should look good, but definitely if you're functioning at 100%, you're going to be healthy and healing, and you're going to be a better person because of it. And then the third reason we have a healthcare crisis, well, I'm going to leave you hanging on that one. So I'm going to come back to it, though, I promise. So when we go into this whole idea of a healthcare crisis and what are we going to do, now we have to start asking these questions. If you keep doing what you've been doing, you can finish that, right? You can finish that sentence. If you keep doing what you've been doing, what? You're going to keep getting what you've been getting. You're going to get the same results. And this is called better results faster. We don't want the same old results. We want better results. So here's the 10 questions that you must ask if you want to be healthy. Question number 1, are you designed to be healthy or sick? You are designed to be healthy. That's the way God intended your body to be. That's my belief system, that we're designed to be healthy. We're not meant to be sick. We're not meant to die early. We're not meant to have a bunch of diseases and feel like crap all the time. So here's the thing. Think about all our ancestors. We know that there's at least 3,800 generations of human beings that were all very successful before you and I. So that being said, if we were meant to be sick, none of us would be here because we all would have died out a long time ago. So you are designed to be healthy. So next question, is your body smart or stupid? Your body is smart. Your body's brilliant. At the moment of conception, you receive all the genetic information necessary for you to function, regenerate. Think about this. If you cut your arm, your arm's going to heal itself. But think about this. You take a sperm and you take an egg and you put them together, and 270 days later, you have a fully formed human being. And then fast forward 17 years, that baby that was just born is actually sitting for an SAT or an ACT test. That's an amazing thing, all right? And understand, too, that you may not always feel well, but your body is smart. Think about a fever. Why do we get a fever? We get a fever to kill a virus or bacteria that your body knows. And so is that smart or stupid? That is intelligence. That's called innate intelligence in the chiropractic world. And so that innate intelligence is what keeps you healthy and healing, and it flows through your body above, down, inside out. Think about this. Say you ate some bad seafood or maybe some undercooked chicken, and you get food poisoning. Is that smart or is that stupid? That's smart. That's brilliant, because your body's getting those toxins out of your system so that you don't potentially die, all right? That's what I want you to know. Remember, your body is smart. You don't make mistakes. And as long as your body can adapt to the stress in your life, you're going to be healthy. So question number 3, what is the most critical system for optimal health? And what is the most important system in your body for staying healthy? Now, is it your digestive system? Is it your musculoskeletal system? Or is it your nervous system? Your nervous system, absolutely. Your nervous system is the master system. That innate intelligence that we just talked about travels across your nervous system. The nervous system is the communication system for the body. It's the system that helps us to adapt and deal with stress. The flow of all that intelligence or information across the nerves is what keeps us healthy and healing. All tissues, organs, and organ systems rely on this nerve supply to function well and stay healthy. So let's start from the beginning. Your nervous system. Your nervous system, as you know, is your master system. That means it runs everything. Your brain is in constant communication with all your tissues, organs, and organ systems. And all these systems are always talking back to the brain. All of that communication takes place across those nerves. It's that exchange of information that keeps your body functioning properly and how all healing happens. Remember, health is 100% function. So that's what keeps you upright, your nervous system. It's how your body digests your lunch and how your body knows how to build healthy cells and where the nutrients in your food need to go. It has kept you alive your entire life. It is healing you as you sit there. It will heal you as you sleep tonight, and it will wake you up in the morning. And all of that information courses through your nervous system. So, question number 4, what protects your nervous system? Now, I throw this picture in there just because it's kind of funny. This is Homer Simpson, but I really feel that this is the way some people walk around. I mean, they're basically just floating through life, and they don't have a lot going on upstairs. And you may think that's wrong, but a lot of times people are completely oblivious when it comes to their health, and that's why I'm doing this workshop, is so that you can get a better understanding of what it takes to be healthy and how to heal your body. Your skull and your spine, right? It's not bike helmets, it's not airbags. Your skull and your spine protect your body, and your skull is the helmet for your brain. And your spine is the suit of armor. It protects your body. It protects your spinal cord. That vital information that flows through your nervous system is protected by protecting the actual organ that transmits it, which is your nervous system. So understand, when your spine is properly aligned, it's like a tube of bone, okay? It actually runs all the way around your spinal cord. And when your spine is straight, it's strong. So that first picture there on your left, that's what we want the spine to look like. And then from the side, we have these beautiful curves in the neck, the mid back, and low back. Those act as shock absorbers. We have 24 movable vertebrae with a disc in between. We have 53 movable joints, and we can move in 14 different planes of motion. So that spine has to be healthy and has to be in proper alignment. Otherwise, it starts to break down, and the nervous system becomes dysfunctional because of that. So question number 5. Is your life stressful? Absolutely. Now, there's 2 answers you can choose from here. Yes or yes, all right? Understand that even if you do a good job and you feel like you deal with stress pretty well, we are under a huge amount of stress in our life today. We receive in 30 days the same amount of stress that our grandparents received in their entire lifetime. That is a study done by Johns Hopkins University. So regardless of what you're doing for stress management in your life, stress is overwhelming to us no matter what. Absolutely, life is stressful. And so now I'm going to talk about the different types of stress that all of us experience, and this is why our stress levels are so high. So there's 3 different types of stress. There's emotional or mental stress. And these are things like, social stressors, psychological stressors, emotional stressors, job stress, kids, that type of stuff. We also call this thoughts, or the first T. The second T, which is toxins or chemical stressors, this is your diet style, what you eat and drink, drugs and other lifestyle choices. Now remember, this is prescription and over-the-counter drugs along with recreational drugs. And then the last one is pollution and environmental toxins. We can't get away from this. According to the Environmental Working Group, we get 200 toxic chemicals in our environment every single day before we eat or drink anything. So our environment's very, very toxic. And if you throw in through things like sugar, caffeine, alcohol, those types of things, those are the things that are going to add up to these chemical stressors. And then the third T is trauma, okay? And so we break this down into these physical stressors into macro and micro. So macro is in fact trauma, and micro is really bad habits, things that we do over and over again. So macro physical trauma is things like car accidents, sports injuries, slips and falls, even birth trauma. A German medical doctor found that during a normal natural birth, 80% of the time, a child's spine is damaged during that birth process. If it's an assisted birth, so this is, C-section, forceps, suction, or excessive force to get the baby out, that birth trauma goes up to 95%. So it's really important for parents to get their kids checked early to make sure that their neck and their spine is healthy. The next thing is microphysical trauma. Now, these are bad habits. These are habituated things that we do over and over again. So postural stresses is a huge part of this. Sleeping positions. If you're a stomach sleeper and you turn your head to the side, you're going to put tension and strain on your neck for hours at a time. How about slouching in the couch or the car? Your working positions, and this goes to kids as well. So monitors, computers, tablets, phones, sitting at school, carrying heavy backpacks, all this tech stress adds up and causes damage to our spine and our nerve system. So you got to understand that sitting is the new smoking. This is probably one of the worst things that we do. Our lifestyle stressors, our toxic and deficient lifestyle choices, the bad habits that we have cause and produce subluxation patterns. Now, that's what all this stress is really doing. It creates a condition called subluxation. But think about what we do to our spine all day. First, we lay in bed in the morning, probably lying on your stomach or maybe with too many pillows. So, your head's turned to the side so you can breathe, or it's propped up and resting on your chest. That in turn pulls the curve out of your spine. Or you lay on your back and push it up with pillows. Then you sit up, go downstairs, read over breakfast, brush your teeth, get in the car, drive to your work, sit at your computer all day, you bang your head against the computer all day, You get back in your car, sit on your couch, watch TV, or you sit at your computer or play on your phone. And we wonder why everybody's having such a hard time. It looks nothing like the spine is supposed to look like. And remember, our ancestors walked around all the time, and none of this stuff was around. So, like I said, this is part of that unnatural stress, and this is why we get so sick today. So what is all this stress doing to your body? So all this stress causes a condition known as subluxation. Subluxations create interference in the nervous system. Subluxations cause a breakdown in communication. This causes joint and tissue inflammation, which leads to irritation of the nerves and more stress. This is a downward spiral. You have to understand that. And understand, too, that most subluxations occur silently. And you know what I'm talking about. Long day at the office, staring at the screen. Your shoulder muscles are stiff and sore when you get in your car. Maybe the next morning or a few days later, those muscles still feel tight. It's tough to turn in one direction or the other. You just want a massage. That's a subluxation. That's how it starts. But remember, your nerves don't just control muscles, and it's not just about pain. Squeeze the nerve. That's a subluxation. If that nerve goes to the stomach, will the stomach be healthy or sick? Will it be healthy or unhealthy? Yeah, if you squeeze that nerve, that's a subluxation. If that nerve goes to the kidneys, will they be healthy or unhealthy? And you can understand that then we start having some physical problems. We have to start having symptoms, okay? So when a joint gets out of healthy alignment, that causes damage to the soft tissues, the disc. That holds the joint in its healthy position and results in inflammation, okay? So we have swelling and nerve irritation. That's what a subluxation is. This leads to muscle spasms and joint fixation. And remember, is your body smart or stupid? Your body's smart. So when your body's unstable, it causes muscle spasms to splint the joint and keep you from doing further damage. So then the problem is with this joint fixation, you end up with stress hormone production. You irritate a nerve, it creates a stress response in the body, just like when you stub your toe. This is an injury that your body understands and releases certain hormones into your bloodstream so that you deal with stress. And when this is chronic, this causes lots of different problems. So what do you think is the real cause of many different health problems? Is it bad genes? I just got the obesity gene. People say, well, everybody's in my family's heavy because it runs in my family. Well, you know what? The problem is nobody runs in your family. You got to get up and move. Most of the time, when it comes to obesity, it's bad pantry, it's bad kitchen, it's not bad genes. Okay. What about? And here's the other thing you understand about genes. 99.4% of human beings have a perfect genetic structure that, when put in the right environment, will express health 100% of the time. So it's not your genes. We're meant to be healthy. Remember that? What about bad germs? Is it just, if somebody walked in and sneezed all over you, and say they sneezed on everybody in your family tonight and they had a cold, would everybody in your family get sick? No. Some people would and some people wouldn't. Now, there's a chance that everybody would, but I would say that probably not. So did the people get sick? Did they just get the bad germs? No, it's when somebody's too stressed, their immune system gets suppressed, gets shut down because of the stress in their life, because of the nerve interference that stress is causing, those subluxations, and that's when you get sick. Germs don't make us sick. We have to be run down and under too much stress in order to get sick, okay? What about bad luck? I hear about somebody, maybe they have a heart attack. That's bad luck. No, that's a bad lifestyle is what that really is. So it's not bad genes, it's not bad germs, it's not bad luck. Nervous system dysfunction or subluxation causes health problems. I hope you understand that. By putting pressure on that nerve, those nerves aren't able to feed the information to your organs, and the organs get sick. And if they get sick long enough, then you start having symptoms, and then you potentially could be life-threatening. So subluxations cause health problems. Remember, the information flowing across the nerves is what keeps organs working properly, like wires in a home. Nerves go to specific organs that have specific functions, and any nerve interference creates dysfunction in that organ. In other words, the organ doesn't work right. This is subluxation, and subluxation is very often the cause of disease and can rob you of health and life. Subluxations typically start silently and then eventually show signs of symptoms. As you may have guessed already, subluxations can be the root cause of back pain, neck pain, or headaches. But what you probably don't know is that subluxation can cause digestive problems like reflux and heartburn, food intolerances or constipation, blood pressure issues or breathing problems like asthma, or immune disorders like allergies or eczema and other skin conditions. Subluxations can often present as stiffness and soreness in joints and muscles, but even more commonly they can present as energy issues, sleep problems, or anxiety. Who do you know that suffers with these issues? Headaches, sinus problems, allergies, fatigue. I know that you know somebody, and subluxations can be the root cause of that. And if it's something that's affecting you, you need to take action. So here's the thing. We talk in our office all the time about body signals, speaking body language. When you have a symptom, it's your body trying to tell you something. And treating symptom is like taking the battery out of a smoke detector when it goes off in the middle of the night. It's probably better for the safety of you and your family to find the cause first and address that. That's when you take a painkiller when you have that neck pain, you're actually doing something stupid because that pain is telling you not to move in those certain directions so you don't hurt yourself, right? So like I said, find the cause and it's going to be better for you and your family. So question number 8, how is your nervous system functioning? You may have no idea. You might be curious, but the real question is, how would you know? And let me ask you this. If you had high cholesterol, how would you know that? You'd have to be checked, right? So in our office, you get checked. And there's a bunch of different things that we do. And you have to get checked for subluxation just like you would have to get checked for high cholesterol. Because what does high cholesterol feel like? Once you get checked, then you know. But what about high blood sugar? What does that feel like? You don't know. We have to have it checked, right? Same with the subluxation. How do you know if you have a subluxation? We check you for it. Chiropractors are the only doctors that understand how to find and correct subluxations. You know, you wouldn't go to your medical doctor and ask him if you had a cavity, right? No, you go to your dentist, the people that have been trained to find that. The other thing, too, is you shouldn't wait until pain or symptoms develop to know whether or not you have a subluxation. That's way too late, and it might be too late to even fix it. Like I said, only chiropractors are trained to correct subluxation. There are unique tests that we do and are trained in to identify subluxations. So this test that we do can find early detects the signs of subluxation, and that's why it's really important for everyone to have their spine checked. We do static and motion palpation. We look at your posture, which is the window into your nervous system. We have specialized nervous system scans that tell us how the nerves are functioning, and then we also have x-rays so we can see what your spine looks like and tell you what's the best course of action on how to correct your subluxations. So, what should you do to correct problems with your nervous system? You can ignore it, you can drug it, or you can correct it. Okay, so you have to take action to correct your problems. So what should you do if you have a subluxation? Everyone who has a spine is susceptible. We want whole families under care. Everybody should be checked. Why do you think I adjusted my kids the day that they were born? Why do you think that I routinely see 3-day-old babies in this office? The sooner you get checked, the better. And when is the best time to get checked? Right now. You're absolutely correct. So going back to what we do, the reason we do all those tests is to show that it is correctable. You have to know that because sometimes subluxations are not, and without doing those tests, we wouldn't know. I don't want to guess when it comes to your spine and your nervous system. I want to know so we can provide the best possible care for you. So in order to correct subluxation, we call it the 3-legged stool of results. Okay? Once you take action, you have to get adjustments in a rhythm. Adjustments in a rhythm are just like exercise and rhythm. Each one builds on the previous one, and you're going to get healthier and better results because of that. The second one is breaking up bad habits that aggravate these subluxation patterns. You know, if you're sitting at your job all day, we got to find ways to get you up and moving. If you don't drink enough water, we have to start adding water in, okay? So we got to break up these bad habits so that you stop aggravating these subluxation patterns. And then third, you got to exercise. You got to get moving. And we not only just talk about moving in general, but specific exercises to strengthen your spine so that you actually start holding your adjustments better. The reason we see people at a certain frequency is because A, your goals, and B, how well you hold adjustments. When you start holding adjustments better, you get to move into a different phase of your care, and we celebrate that. So let me give you a quick testimonial if it's all right. So I want you to meet Kayla. Now, Kayla was 22 years old when she came to me, and she had severe constipation. Now, I'm talking that she's never had a normal bowel movement in her life, okay? She went 60 days in between bowel movements one time, and she's given me permission to share this information, okay? And because of this, they said that she would never be able to have babies, all right? She also had huge hormone problems that caused headaches for her. She said that she felt like she was going crazy, that she just, you know, and the doctors basically told her all this stuff was in her head. They didn't say there's anything wrong with her intestines. They did all these different things, and nothing helped. So she had these headaches. This led to skin problems, okay? So she came in, she started getting adjusted, and within a few weeks, she was actually going to the bathroom on her own, and she was able to get pregnant. And that's her with her 2 beautiful girls, okay? So understand that she, even though she was told that there's nothing wrong with her by the medical doctors, and they actually told her that everything was in her head, that this was actually a subluxation problem. I adjusted the areas that went to her digestive areas and her reproductive areas, and she was able to overcome that, okay? Now, I want to share another story with you. So these are some scans in her office, and this is Lucy. So on that top scan there, these are the organ nerves, right? So this is some of the scans that we can do. And you can see here that if you look very closely, you can see that there's mostly white bars. So if you see green bars, that's mild nerve disturbance. Blue would be intense. Red is severe, okay? So those from that green down to the other green, that whole area where those red bars are, that controls digestive problems, okay, or digestive organs. So what do you think Lucy might be experiencing? You're right. She's experiencing some digestive problems. Now, here's the thing that I ask a lot of people is, how old do you think Lucy is? Well, Lucy's actually 6 months old, okay? So Lucy's a baby. And Lucy's story actually parallels Kayla's story. Like I said, Kayla never had a normal bowel movement when she was growing up. She always had to take laxatives and stuff like that. Well, at 6 months old, Lucy's mom is having to give her oral and rectal suppositories just to get her to go to the bathroom, and that doesn't even work. And because her stomach hurts, Lucy's got colic, severe colic. She's never slept longer than 4 hours at a time. This is actually tearing their family apart, okay? So dad's not sleeping, mom's not sleeping, baby's not sleeping. You know, it's just a really bad situation. And so, the doctors have put scopes down her throat, they put scopes up the other end, and they can't find anything wrong. So they tell the mom, they say, listen, we want to do some exploratory surgery. We want to take out a portion of her transverse colon, which is part of your big and large intestine, and we want to sew it back together, and hopefully that'll stimulate some action, because that's where we think the problem is. And she's like, no, I really don't think you're going to cut open my 6-month-old baby when you can't find anything wrong. So her mom actually came into me because of some mid-back pain, but I started talking about subluxation and chiropractic. And she said, well, maybe I should get my baby checked. So I brought her in and found out that Lucy had a subluxation at C1, which is the top bone. So take your finger, put it right behind your ear. You're going to feel a hard spot right there. That's C1. You're going to feel that, okay? When that's subluxated, it can affect every single system of your body. It's the circuit breaker of your body. So I adjusted Lucy the first time, and she went home and she slept for 16 hours, okay? Well, after she went to the bathroom, a lot. And so actually her mom woke up in the middle of that, and she was kind of freaked out because Lucy never slept more than 4 hours, remember? And so when she got up, she said, you know what, she's sleeping. We all got a good night's sleep. And she came in, and the bottom scan there, that's actually after 12 chiropractic adjustments and 4 weeks later. So you can actually see that those nerves are functioning better, and her body is able to heal itself in order to make sure that she goes to the bathroom properly. I don't treat any condition. I didn't treat her digestive problems. What I did is I found subluxation, removed it, allowing her body to heal itself. So question number 10. What is the best time to deal with your health issues? What do you guys think? Now, right? Now is the best time to take action. Not tomorrow, not next week, but today. Because you know what? The number 3 reason that we have a healthcare crisis is procrastination. Procrastination is the thief of health and success, and that's absolutely true. If you wait till tomorrow, if you wait till it hurts, if you wait till you have a symptom, it might be too late. You know, the person that's, dies of a heart attack, like my brother, I told him he needed to take care of the stress in his life, and he procrastinated. He didn't do anything about it because he felt fine, and he died because of it. And I don't want that to happen to anybody else. So now is the best time to deal with your health issues. And if it's all right, I'd like to share one last story with you. So I want you to see my son. Now, like I said, I adjusted both my kids the day they were born. My son is on the left there. And if you look at his arm, he's a little bit gray. We had a home birth, not because we want to make you uncomfortable or anything like that. We're a little crazy. But no, we had a home birth, and we had a midwife there. And Hamish came out, and he wasn't breathing real well. And so our midwife, who loves chiropractic, said, look, I got to get some oxygen, but I want you to adjust him. So that's me actually giving him his first adjustment. And I just felt that C1, like I talked about earlier, massively subluxated to the right. So my right hand's right on that. I'm just holding a little bit of pressure. It's not enough pressure to even bruise a tomato. And within about 30 seconds, he started to breathe. And then he started to cry. And then his color started coming back. And we got in some oxygen. And then that picture on the right is a picture of him, balancing a spoon on his nose. So he's a pretty amazing kid. He's really smart, super fun. And at the end of that, my wife and son are asleep in our bed, and our midwife looked at me. We were filling out some paperwork, and she said, you know what? That was amazing. She goes, I think chiropractic saved your little boy's life today. And so that's what I want you to understand, that no matter how old or how young you are, chiropractic can change your life and make things better. All right. I just wanted to say thank you so much for taking the time. Get checked, get your nerve system checked for you and your family, and schedule today. If you mention this presentation, you'll get a discount on your first visit. Call us at 231-622-8828 or email us at info@breathoflifechiropractic.net. Once again, thank you so much, and God bless. Hope to hear from you soon. Thank you again for joining me today. If you're interested in getting a spinal checkup for yourself or a loved one, please call the number or email us at the address listed on the screen. If you mention this video, you'll get a special money-saving offer on your first visit. On behalf of myself and the Breath of Life team, we look forward to speaking with you soon.